All right. See what the nerdrotic thought. Get over and follow nerdrotic. Tell him Tyrone Magnus sent you. All righty. Check this out here.
Thank you for finding the time. I will admit, it's not entirely unpleasant seeing you again.
nerdrotic.com.
Yeah, that's how I was feeling with Disney. Because of that trailer. It's not entirely unpleasant seeing you again, Disney.
40% who haven't subscribed yet. The best thing Disney Marvel has ever produced in live action or otherwise is the Netflix Daredevil series. And if you want to bring up Iron Man, that was made by Paramount. Everything else is a distant second. I don't make the rules, I just make the observations. Daredevil is not only one of my favorite superhero series, it's one of my favorite TV series of all time.
Period.
Totally, it gave you everything you want as a Daredevil comic fan, particularly from the 80s up. From Miller to Nocenti to Bendis to Brubaker, but definitely not to Mark Waid.
You suck ass.
Whether it's the now famous hallway scene or the Kingpin decapitating a guy with a car
that
door,
was sick.
Adam Gao, the introduction of the Hand, the Punisher in prison, the brilliant portrayals of Foggy Nelson and Karen Page. I only have 3 minor complaints. Bullseye wasn't in his costume in season 3. Daredevil wasn't in his costume for most of season 3. And Matt Murdock wasn't a ginger. Ultimately, thanks to D+, all the Netflix shows were canceled. And considering how most of those shows turned out, it wasn't a surprise. Except for Daredevil. Everybody wanted that show back. They wanted to see Charlie Cox as Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. Well, be careful what you wish for.
We got it. Much later. We got it with this trailer.
You're really starting to annoy me.
That should have killed him. I don't know how they have the Kingpin fight certain humans that are enhanced, like Spider-Man and other. He's normal. He's just strong. How do they have him fight people like that? It makes no sense to me. I don't get it, but okay.
Sometimes family doesn't see eye to eye.
She looked better there.
And despite
she
one
looked
good
like
cameo
that,
by
man.
Charlie Cox in Spider-Man No Way Home, no one can argue that a lot of damage was done, specifically to what was, until Disney Plus showed up, the best Marvel villain, Kingpin. Yes, better than Thanos. So after
Nah, he's not better than Thanos. We can disagree on that.
Daredevil's walk of shame and the Kingpin crying and getting defeated twice by a couple of girls, they announced that there's going to be another Daredevil series.
You know what I'll even give you? He's as good as Thanos. I'll give you that.
Daredevil Born Again. Thankfully, there was a Writers Guild and Film Actors Guild strike that scrapped the series even though they had filmed half of it. An 18-episode courtroom drama without Foggy Nelson and Karen Page. Disney Marvel decided to use that.
You know what, though? Before Thanos, everyone said that Loki was. Those 3 are in the running right there. Those 3. But for me, it's Thanos. And then if you want to talk about Loki and Kingpin being tied, I'll give them a close second to Thanos. Those 2 together, tied for second.
That opportunity to go back to the drawing board and reshoot the entire series. So, after WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk Attorney at Law, Secret Invasion, Echo, and Agatha All Along, there's finally a D+ series I'm looking forward to, because Disney Marvel just dropped a trailer and it looks really good.
So I was watching The Critical Drinker before I watched this, and he called Echo pudgy. And I was like, well, she's not pudgy, but her face is kind of cheeky. The long hair minimalized that, because I didn't think she was pudgy faced in, what was it, Hawkeye? Or whatever it was that she was in, where she shot Kingpin. But her face did look cheeky and yeah, Echo.
Thank you for Find the time. Well, I will admit, it's not entirely unpleasant seeing you again.
A lot of respect for who put this trailer together because it's very good. But this opening, aside from addressing the length of time it's been since the...
Actually know a guy, met a guy, spoke with him at length that cut trailers. I will tell you that he had something to do with a major DC DECU? It was one of Snyder's. He had something to do with a major trailer. And there was something that the fans did not like in a particular trailer. And he told them not to do it. But he did what he was asked to do. He says, don't do it. They didn't listen. And there was fan outcry for that one particular trailer. There was fan outcry. I remember that. Start listening to people that work for you that are also fans. Big companies.
The Netflix Daredevil show, it also has a meta aspect. This is exactly how Marvel fans feel about Disney Marvel coming back and actually listening to them. Like a couple of exes talking for the first time after a few short, friendly texts and a lot of water under the bridge.
Yeah.
Time has passed. By the look of it, you've come up in the world.
It is great seeing Foggy and Karen back, considering, again, that they weren't going to be in this Daredevil series originally.
I could say the same about you. A mayor serves his city.
Unless, of course, you're a mayor that flies to Ghana and attends a cocktail party where your city is on fire.
I can see you're not entirely convinced. Can you blame me?
Despite this series being called Daredevil Born Again...
Is the Kingpin the Lex Luthor of the Marvel Marvel Universe? I'm sure he is. I'm trying to think of who else. Norman Osborn? Who's the Lex Luthor? Because they both seem like they are. I feel like it's more like it's Kingpin because he's human. You know what I mean?
That storyline was done in season 3, hence why I call it Daredevil Born Again. Again, this one's going to be based on the Charles Soule and Ron Garney run. That was one of the rare standouts in what was the complete crap, all new, all different Marvel.
I can't shake the feeling that you're gaming the system. Why did you stop being a vigilante? The line was crossed.
Now, what line was crossed? Did one of his friends get killed? Did he kill a villain? Did both happen? I guess we'll have to find out.
It's hard to come to terms with the violent nature of the power. It has over us.
Fight!
It's the good old hero/superhero has given up being the hero/superhero, except this time it's different. The villain has given up being the villain.
You know what I like about
hopefully they do things a little different.
Toby's portrayal of Spider-Man? He was a complete nerd as Peter. A complete nerd. Just like he was in the comics. Tom Holland's version is the next step up as far as nerdy goes, or step down as far as nerdy goes. And then Andrew Garfield's, he's the coolest one of them all. Like, that's really not Peter Parker. But he's kind of my favorite all around. I loved the first suit. Loved it. Loved the first suit. Loved it. You know, the fans complained enough to get it changed. So, okay, but I love it. It's got the best, absolute best shot, I feel, of web slinging ever. Is when the helicopter's like behind him, or the spotlight or whatever, and he shoots it, and there's that slow motion of the pull. Oh, I love that. Magical. There are others that you can argue are the best. I understand. But I'm talking about that one shot. I love it. The elasticity, the taut, the recoil of the web, everything, the whole, y'all can't see my feet, but the whole just, perfection. Toby is a complete nerd. Look at his walk. He even walks dumpy like a nerd. Look.
That's over us.
It's the good old hero/superhero has given up being the hero/superhero, except this time it's different. The villain has given up being the villain as well. Hopefully they do things a little different this time, or maybe they'll both find a magic knee brace. Yes, that is Bullseye, and they did such a great job with him in season 3. Now, hopefully, they give him a good costume. Oh.
I was raised to believe in grace.
Man, this trailer's got everything. James Gandolfini's son, and the...
That would have been perfect for Red Letter Media's Mr. Plinkett. Oh. If you're familiar with Red Letter Media, go watch every single Mr. Plinkett review. You will fall in love with Mr. Plinkett. You will be the minority if you do not love Mr. Plinkett. Oh.
A white tiger. Now, there was a time I would have been stoked to see this character come to life, but considering what Disney Marvel just did to my boy Moon Knight, as with everything churned out by Disney Marvel over the last 5 years, including this series, I'll hope for the best and expect the worst.
Yes, exactly.
I was also raised to believe in retribution.
Excuse
See
me.
that yellow
Sorry.
cow, and I'm reminded there needs to be some retribution for She-Hulk. I'll be damned, that was a good trailer. Ultraviolet, along with a couple of compound fractures. Characters looking and acting like they do from the comic books. It looks like they're going to do a somewhat faithful adaptation of a story from the comic books. I mean, what the hell's going on? And I can hear you out there, and you'd be right. Oh, you sweet summer child. You're allowing yourself to get excited, or at least looking forward to a piece of Disney Marvel content. And I have no explanation other than I'm a nerd. Now, I thought things were bad when they got the Defenders together on Netflix to fight Grandma, but things got so much worse. And it's going to be hard to wipe away the stain of She-Hulk, Hawkeye, and Echo. If not impossible, but at least it looks like they're making an effort.
And there's more stains
than
than
this
just those
series
three.
to be as good as the Netflix series, mostly because none of the writers returned. Now, a lot of that is bad news, including not getting back Buffy and Angel alumni, respectively, Stephen DeKnight and Drew Goddard. But there is some good news. They didn't bring back The Witcher's Lauren Hissrich. Ultimately, I'm okay if this series is just pretty good, and that would be a major victory for Disney Marvel. They were initially going to make a happy-go-lucky Marvel humor Daredevil and thought better of it, and now we're going to get a continuation of the Netflix series, and according to the little birdies I know in Marvel, this is the most rated R thing they've ever done. And as far as the Marvel fandom sitting down with Disney Marvel as a couple of exes and talking the first time, well, for me anyway, not enough water has gone under the bridge. As a matter of fact, a few glaciers need to melt. Then, of course, there's still a lot of questions when it comes to the MCU's.
We do not trust you at all, Marvel. At all. You're going to have to perform.
Canon, including but definitely not limited to what's going on with the Black Knight, what's going on with Blade. Sure, they're going to finally address Tiamat in the Captain America sequel without Captain America. But did anybody see that giant celestial in the sky? Hey, how's that Skrull invasion going? But it's a smart move to just do a grounded superhero story without all this multiverse bullshit, and maybe that happens by 2030. But Disney Marvel's gonna...
I can't even call it multiverse bullish. It's that they intertwined it with woke and bad writing and ta-da-da. So it makes people think that multiversal stuff is bad. You know what I mean? And it's not. Or time travel's bad. Or superhero movies are bad. It's superhero fatigue. It was just super woke and not good writing. Because every once in a while, you'll see something that's actually woke, but good. And it's like, Jesus Christ. All of the political talking points are all through this. God. But you know, it's actually pretty good. I can't lie. They actually wrote a good, but it's so rare. I can't even, as a matter of fact, it's so rare that I can't even think of anything right now. You know what I'm saying? But I know I've seen something. It was like a movie or a show to where I was like, you know, that was woke as fuck, but it was actually good. You know what I'm saying? Oh, one is The Boys, but The Boys is kind of like a parody of things. So that fits in a particular, it's not seriously social justice warrior, DEI, ESG. It's kind of a parody of a lot of the stuff, but at the same time, it's not. You know what I mean? So it's kind of interesting. That shows a particular interesting talking point to dissect it. But That's a woke show. It's good. But other than, I mean, I know people didn't like the last season really, but you know what I mean, up until the last season. So yeah.
Have to remember,
stay away from
because
woke
a lot of people in this
if you want to
comment
win.
section and elsewhere are going to remind them how they treated the fans over the last few years, and you're going to see the full
That's
spectrum
a new one. Go woke won't win. There we go. Go woke, go broke. Go woke won't win.
of responses, from excitement to skepticism to I'm never fucking coming back. And don't forget, modern Hollywood never deserves the benefit of the doubt. That being said, it's looking good so far for Daredevil Born Again. Please don't fuck it up.
That's right. That's what everybody's saying. I said it. Drinker said
If
it.
you like what you heard, please
He
like
said
and
it.
subscribe.
Everybody
If you
else
didn't
is
like what you
saying
heard,
it.
I thank you for...
Get over and follow the man. And if you enjoyed my reaction and thoughts on this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share. 10 million subscribers. Woo! Don't woke it up, Disney. Do not be stupid. Do it right.